This week on Driven, the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, a global event from Australia to Ukraine. For one day each year, we all ride together for each other.
The more good we do, the more smile we have in our life.
Gentlemen, start your engines. We go together on two wheels, distinguished or not. It all starts with two wheels. We are on two wheels the first time we tried to control the movement and the speed of a machine. Only two wheels in a balancing act of stability and velocity. For most, we move on to four wheels to move ourselves. But for a few, they are convinced that only two wheels can move the soul. A special breed that rides the open road, open to it all.
It's not just transportation, but it's exhilaration. When you ride a motorcycle, you're out in the open, you smell stuff, you feel stuff, you're part of the environment.
In Southern California, moving from pedal to piston starts early.
I started riding when I was in 7th grade, so it's just something that's it's in your DNA.
Here, it's a way of life.
This is the #1 market for motorcycles in the country, and with good reason. A real benefit that we have is year-round riding, so we didn't have to jam it in 4 or 5 months and then sit there and jones over our bikes all winter long. We can't wait to get to ride them.
Matter of fact, the winter's the best riding season, summer cruising PCH.
It's more than just the weather.
There's a huge history of motorcycling in Southern California.
A history that has helped to create a varied culture that continues today at places like Costa Mesa Speedway.
This is the cradle and birthplace of American Speedway. We've hosted and crowned 51 United States National Speedway champions. The hub of the sport is right here, the heartbeat of it.
Fans and riders of all ages prepare for the adrenaline to fill the world's smallest speedway track.
That rider right into the wall.
Fuel burning motorcycles with no brakes. Young fearless men are riding those around at unbelievable speeds.
No brakes. He said no brakes, which means no fear.
It's a ballet, and it's super choreographed when it's right, and it's chaos when it goes wrong.
For sale, you need it. Maybe it's time to trade in the Peloton and get a real bike.
You never want to get on one of these fuel-burning motorcycles with no brakes. You want to be in the grandstands with cold beer.
Advice well taken on this beautiful night at Costa Mesa Speedway. The crowd here proves that motorcycles can do more than race, ride, and rumble. These machines can build community.
To put it in car terms, you think of a Prius and a Ferrari, they're totally different, and that person in the car world would never hang out. But in the bike world, you ride a Ducati or you ride a chopper, you have that common ground and you become a community. That simple when it comes to motorcycles.
From that common unity, a worldwide motorcycle phenomenon was created. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride unites classic and vintage-styled motorcycle riders from all over the globe to raise funds for men's health. Inspired by a photo of Mad Men's Don Draper astride a classic bike and wearing his finest suit, founder Mark Hawa decided a theme ride would be a great way of connecting various motorcycle communities while raising funds to support the men in our lives. Now, one day a year, moto enthusiasts from around the world all ride together, for each other and for those that can no longer ride.
I think the great thing about Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, or DGR, Mark Hawa started it 11 years ago for the same reason. Someone near and dear to him passed away and decided to do a ride together.
Imagine we can link the people who have similar likes together and make a difference for the actual community to live in. And this is what this event is all about. DGR is a very meaningful event about helping others through a community.
Raising funds for mental health awareness and prostate cancer research You know, a lot of my family suffers from mental health issues, and it's near and dear to my heart, and so I ride for them.
DGR has connected more than 400,000 gentlefolks from over 100 countries around the world, from Australia to the Ukraine, and here in the United States, from Newport, Rhode Island to Newport Beach, California, where I'll be riding along the beautiful Pacific Coast Highway in Orange County.
Think of New Year's Eve. The clock strikes midnight. Every single city, country in the world starts shooting off their fireworks. That's the best way I describe Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. It's like at 9 a.m., the fireworks are off.
Those fireworks are provided by classically designed motorcycles, like cafe racers, bobbers, scramblers, old school choppers, sidecars, and vintage scooters, to name a few, all paired perfectly with a dapper look.
It's implied distinguished gentleman. So the ride itself requires all the participants to suit up, basically.
For a standard motorcycle guy, we have gear that we have to wear. So we really can't be unique and special and stand out and say, this is who I am under the gear. So this gives us a chance to ride on a motorcycle, dress the way we want to dress.
So we definitely want to make sure that everyone's suited up and looking right on their motorcycles for tomorrow's ride.
Dapper is in the eyes of the beholder because style varies, but the reason to ride remains the same.
What I love about the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride is the friendships that I've been able to build, because there are all walks of life that participate in the DGR ride. Lawyers, doctors, baristas, and we're just all in one place, and there's this common community.
Up next, I'm in need of a distinguished gentleman's makeover. When Driven continues. The only thing I really know about motorcycles is, when riding lead, don't spit. I know less about being a distinguished gentleman. I needed help. I needed the guys from Off Track in Long Beach.
We created a space here for sort of any sort of bike, motorcycle to come through and feel at home. There's something for everyone here.
This is something that we feel value in getting it out there. Is our name, who we are, our own clothing, and we hope that people dig the shop for what it is.
What Off Track is a true gear shop that has embraced the idea of community. It's also been embraced by the community.
And I just was so enamored and fell in love with what they do and how they do it. It's, when I say off track, it's very off track on how they do things and their spirit.
The spirit moved both shop owners enough to create a space for North to move into Off Track's location, where the vibe fit like a glove for Martine's focus on discovering your true self.
If I could describe it in one sentence, it's finding yourself, finding your true north. That as travelers, vagabonds, we're always looking to the North Star. In that, we curate the shops with brands that either have purpose or are helping someone with their identity, finding themselves. So that's the best way I can describe North.
One day before DGR was to ride PCH, I needed to find my true north and some clothes.
Picked out the outfit that we felt was distinguished because we are not a suiting shop, and so we decided to go with an all-view 3-button Dapper jacket. We could get Off Track and just do a shop rag.
Nice!
We are going to go with an exaggerated gingham pattern, and this is a brand that we carry called Monadic. We do our best to curate it so that we provide different looks for different people. Can't have cookie cutter styles. So we decided, based on how you dress, keep it low key, comfortable, and it's not overly done, but it still looks dapper.
Dapper, you have met your match.
There we go. Looking like a distinguished gentleman.
You almost made me distinguished. Almost.
Almost.
Look at this.
But I dig it. And the shop rag.
The shop rag.
Finishing touch. That's it.
Brings out the blue in my eyes.
There you go. Beautiful.
Look at this look.
You're ready for tomorrow.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Not only I think I can ride, but I can dance.
Oh yeah.
I can dance in this. Are we dancing afterwards? But I'll take it. Still have to get some facial hair. I don't know how that's going to happen overnight, but we'll figure it out. It's a good look.
Get a Brillo pad.
No Brillo pads, no Sharpies.
I should have had more rules in place for my fitting with Cy and Dustin.
I'm ready to trade this in for a full off-track look.
We got you covered. The best thing about that, you're gonna do it yourself. Can of paint, this is how we get down. From Off Track with Love.
You guys do this all the time?
We have. I mean, it looks way better than that.
What's everybody laughing about? Is it that? No, seriously?
Nah, it looks like, you know, you got into a fight with a space can.
How you like that look? Huh? You know what? It isn't that bad. Nah. Fashion models in New York paying big money for this kind of work right here.
You'll probably find my collection at H&M in the spring, but that's not why I'm here.
I'm not here to release my inner artist. I'm here to release my inner rebel. And I think you guys can do it.
We got one, we got the next one for you is gonna be killer.
Distinguished?
Oh,
You betcha.
Hell yeah.
Slightly rebellious? Oh yeah. Gentlemen, I don't even need a bike. I'm walking this thing.
Wild Hogs too?
Wow. Oh my God, I'm now John Travolta. That is.
Love the back. The back's the best part always.
It is.
I actually look tough in this.
You didn't think that was gonna happen, did you?
I did not think
No.
you could make me look tough and distinguished. You guys are miracle workers.
Off track, baby.
Off-track miracle workers. Makes it look like I belong on a bike.
If clothes make the man, can they make the rider?
When you heard that engine roar, did you hear screams? That was my wife back in New Orleans. She's like, you got 2 kids, what are you
She
doing?
was going, hell yeah!
Find a scooter, handsome.
What's super cool and what we love about our shop is that these 3 bikes, this red one, this black one, and this orange flame one, they're the exact same bike. So if you look at the motors, mine's a 78, yours 75, and yours is 77. So these are literally the same bikes, custom motorcycles. Everyone is different.
Just like the clothes. Everyone's got its own personality. It just takes a little time to find it.
And I found mine in a vintage black leather jacket, painted with the logo of America's first motorcycle company. You never know who will leave their mark.
We're 2 guys in a can of paint, trying to put our mark on the industry and on the culture, and however we can do that, we do.
Leaving a mark by bringing the community together, one bike at a time.
This idea of community is not just the shop, but it's, you know, it's everything. That's what kind of DGR is, bringing a lot of people together to you know, amplify that.
Like all the participants of the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, they will leave a mark on this community in so many untold ways. Coming up, we ride along the California coast as the world rides together for each other and for their loved ones. When Driven continues. All around the world, the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride is ready to put the community back on the road.
Today's the day, and there's going to be a ton of bikes here and just a real good feeling.
Motorcycles, motorcycles, motorcycles. That's it.
Over 350 bikes gather at OC Motorcycles to ride along one of America's great drives.
We're right here. We're about 3 or 4 miles from the coast, so we're going to head right down to the coast on Pacific Coast Highway. We're going to ride up Pacific Coast Highway.
I may look the part of a rebel, but because I currently don't have a valid motorcycle license, I will be riding shotgun. We obey the laws here. We have to.
This was a real passion project my friends and I had to sort of celebrate law enforcement and what they do for us. We took a look at American Indian and tried to figure out when they first had a sidecar. It was back in the 1940s to patrol around the White House. So we literally took pictures of that and recreated all of this from a 2015 Indian Scout.
So basically, I'm Secret Service today.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just without the guns. But we do have a few things for you.
Okay.
You know, just in case there's too much traffic in our way, we can hit this. And we've got the police lights and...
Could you do me a favor though, before you hit those sirens, let me know, because usually when I hear them, I run the other way.
Yes.
And you don't want me
Don't be jumping
out of the sidecar. Nobody here wants to leave this ride early.
DGR means to me is obviously a gathering of people to sort of highlight the concerns around men's mental health and prostate cancer.
The whole concept behind Distinguished Gentleman's Ride is just to raise awareness for men's health.
We're raising awareness about all the important people in our lives, but more importantly, the men in our lives don't ever talk about. So I think this ride is something that opens up that conversation.
So this is a way to say it's okay to talk about your health, it's okay to have health problems, because the longer we wait, the worse the health problems get.
And the more awareness there is, we can get the exposure out there about what men need to be doing. From any medical issue to the things that are important to my line of work, which is prostate cancer screening.
Awareness can be a revelation.
This last year, 250,000 men were diagnosed with prostate cancer, and of that, about 34,000 men died from prostate cancer. So it's still a very significant cancer.
Written in the past because my dad was a prostate cancer survivor, and this year on April 4th it took his life, and this year we write on his behalf because he's no longer here with us. The minute I pulled up today, I saw all these riders and the motorcycles and the sounds and the smell, and I felt like my family was here.
Being here for this extended family is why we are here.
So this charity helps fundraise for prostate cancer, but also to raise awareness for men's mental health.
And mental health doesn't discriminate anyone. You could be, a Hell's Angel, or you could be a member of the royal family.
Mental health affects 1 in 5 people. And when you say 1 in 5, that's just so many people in our lives. So this is a great conversation starter. We want to talk and prevent suicide, for example, because it's increased so much, especially during the pandemic.
There's a lot of people that I know that this past year that have passed away, not because of COVID, but have passed away because of suicide, because they couldn't manage and didn't feel that they had someone to reach out to. So,
on average, across the world, we lose 1 man every minute to suicide.
In my family, we have 6 completed successful suicide. So
just within your own?
Just within my own family. And, I'm here not because of the motorcycle. I'm here because I know this is preventable.
The numbers may be hard to comprehend, but the personal loss is unimaginable unless it has happened to you and yours.
Can we hug it out? Thank you for sharing.
Don't just text your friend. Don't just call your friend. Show up. Like this one. That's what I'm doing. I'm showing up for my friends.
Julie's friend is also the ride's Grand Marshal, Sean Lee of Purist Group, an amazing nonprofit.
Sean has done so many amazing things in the community. He sends a message that's called do good. No matter what you have, how fancy your car, whatever you have, whatever level you can contribute to the community, you can do good.
Like DGR, Purist Group is proving that if we all ride together for each other, we can make a difference.
People might look at it as a simple machine, right? But when you have a lot of people who have like-minded individual, and they link together because of hobby, right? And they link together because of machine, and they all have a charitable purpose behind it, and you actually create a huge community that want to make a change to, doesn't matter if it's men's health or some kid's life or helping a kid's going back to school or help homeless people. It started with a machine which is lifeless, then the people who owns it inject the life into a purpose, and then you create a huge community around it. So that's just beautiful, isn't it?
Up next, one last stop on the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride when Driven continues. As part of the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, there are moments I forgot why we all ride. In my American Indian sidecar with sun and wind in my face, I now know why dogs stick their heads out the window. It's fun. And there may be no better place to go full dog head out the window than PCH.
I still drive and ride in PCH at least once a week. You know, the beautiful scenery, the waterfront. I mean, for people that's, of course, not in California and outside of this country, I mean, you have to make this your life goal to be able to cruise on PCH once in your life.
Once in your life, you also owe it to yourself to go dapper and go ride as a distinguished gentlefolk. The OC's ride raised over $58,000 for Movember, DGR's official charity partner. Since 2012, DGR has raised over $37 million for men's health.
You know what? 2022 Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. I couldn't ask for more. Look at the sun, look at the people. I cannot believe we raised that much money and had over 350 bikes. That was just unbelievable. Was it a success? I can't ask for anything more than that. It was just a great, great day.
It shouldn't be this much fun to do this good, but it is with these kind of events.
No, doing good should always be this fun.
Okay.
That's why we cannot wipe the smile off our face. You know, the more good we do, the more smile we have in our life.
When we all ride together, smiles abound, even with the knowledge that there is so much more to do.
I think this is a very good start because we're starting this conversation. You know, when you have motorcycles and a band of brotherhood and sisterhood coming together, it starts a conversation. And in order to address mental health or any kind of challenges we have in life, we really need to talk about it. So this is a great conversation starter. I hope and I wish that, you know, more men will come out to these events and realize that, you know, they are not alone.
Once alone riding a motorcycle, now together in a community as distinguished gentlemen. That's what happens when we all ride together.